Hi, I'm John Zena, Director of the Memphis and Shelby County Division of Planning and Development. For this month's Director's Message, we're going to do something a little different. I'm joined by one of our division's senior leaders, Ashley Cash, to talk about her department, their work, and a major initiative that they are leading coming up. So thank you, Ashley, for doing this. And let's start by introduce yourself and tell our viewers a little bit more about your department.
Sure. Well, first, thanks, John, for having me, and it's always excited to be the first interviewee for the division, so that's exciting. I am Ashley Cash. I'm a native Memphian. I'm from Memphis. I've had the honor of working for the city, leading the Comprehensive Planning Department, which is a department under the Division of Planning and Development, for about 4 years. Our first major task was completing the comprehensive plan, the first comprehensive plan for the city in almost 40 years, the Memphis 3.0 plan. And that was certainly excited. That plan was adopted in 2019. We are a small but mighty department. There are 6 staff members and 1 intern, 5 municipal planners, 1 project manager, and then plus 1 myself as administrator who gets to lead that effort. And that's essentially our staff. Some of our normal work, I guess I should say, outside of developing the comprehensive plan, which took up a lot of our time for about 2 years. We do small area planning, so similar to, but a little bit more specific than neighborhood planning, what people essentially think of as neighborhood planning. We look at different nodes in the area, different anchors, different special places to the community and to the city. We can look at corridors, and then we support other planning efforts across the city.
Great. All right. So you mentioned Memphis 3.0 was adopted almost a year ago. You mentioned you're working on some small area plans. So tell our viewers a little bit more about some of the plans that we're working on now, some small area plans, system plans, things like that.
Sure. So let me step back a second and talk very briefly about the Memphis 3.0 plan. We feel like that plan was monumental for the city, first of all, because it set the city in a strategic direction of growth. And so we said, how do we, as we go into our next century, take a hold of the growth and make sure that we're becoming the city that we want to be. We're supporting our residents, but also making it a place for visitors and new residents to come, for employment opportunities, etc. And so that's where we developed the Memphis 3.0 plan. It's the comprehensive plan, was adopted by our Land Use Control Board and our City Council. That plan involved about 15,000 folks, so we see that as a major win and victory. The other win and victory outside of the number of people is really just the community organizations, the other government agencies, the other divisions that consistently rely on and refer to the comprehensive plan. So it lives on beyond its adoption, and so that's really neat. One key as I kind of transition into small area planning is the vision. So what did the community say? What's the main thing that the city wants to see as we grow forward? And really that's, we want to see ourselves build up and not out. So we want to build on the existing strengths of the community. So we want to build on our core that we have, our downtown, our core, also build on and support our neighborhood centers as opposed to the continuous sprawl that we've seen over the past decades as our city has developed. And so we've got that broad vision to build up and not out, anchoring our city on growth of the core neighborhoods and being a city of connectivity and opportunity for all. But how do we really get there? And so the plan has many, many actions to get us there. We have 3 plan elements: land, connectivity, and opportunity, and they're just what they sound like. How do we improve among those 3 things? But really the goal with small area planning is taking those big ideas, those broad guiding actions, and seeing how we can implement them on a smaller scale. And so to date, we've completed about 3 small area plans. We've completed, our first 2 were in Raleigh and Whitehaven. So in the Raleigh area, we work with a community there. We work with the Raleigh CDC there, and also the community, some churches and some business owners, to really look at the area that Memphians know as what was formerly the Raleigh Springs Mall, which is now the town center. to look at that area and see how to encourage redevelopment into that area as we move forward with development, how to promote a walkable community, a more urban environment in that area while still respecting the character that's existing, and really looking at how to support the commercial kind of up and down that stretch of Austin Peay. So we've done that work. We've done some similar work in the Whitehaven area, looking at the area along Elvis Presley and Rains Boulevard. There are two really suburban scale shopping centers that are kind of right across the street from each other. One has some available or some land that is a development opportunity. And so what we did there was work with the community, the property owners, and other stakeholders, really to just think about what are some ways to reactivate this land and space and better connect it to the rest of the community and the area. And then last, I'll talk really briefly about the North Poplar study. There are a lot of agencies, anchor institutions, the medical district, the Memphis Medical District Collaborative is there, several other agencies working in that area, the Downtown Memphis Commission, our division, our engineering division. And so what we really wanted to do there is look at a connectivity plan. So how can we connect all these smaller projects and efforts into something that's a little bit more cohesive, something that's supporting of the comprehensive plan. And so there we developed a Poplar corridor strategy that really aligns residential development, streetscape development, and other types of improvements in the area.
Great, thanks, Ashley. So a couple of months ago in our newsletter, we previewed a little bit about a plan that your office is going to be leading in the next few weeks here, a transit-oriented development plan for an area of the city that we're calling the Innovation Corridor. So the city of Memphis and MATA is working right now on planning the first bus rapid transit link from downtown to the medical district to the University of Memphis. So there's a lot of planning work that's taking place within the corridor in terms of the bus rapid transit project, but your office is leading a plan around transit-oriented development. So what is transit-oriented development and why is it important for the city to undertake?
Yeah, great question. Yeah, we are very excited about this work. We've talked about transit-oriented development in the city of Memphis probably for the past 5 to 10 years, but haven't really been able to get it off the ground. And so what is TOD, transit-oriented development? It's essentially where you have multiple uses around an area that is has access and has a transit station nearby or right there, close proximity. And so what do you have? You have your commercial, your residential, you have some entertainment, you have office, and then John, like you mentioned, you've got the employment centers and also the educational centers as well. All of that around some form of transit. When you have all of those uses congregated in a place, you get density. You get density beyond just people who are at the space from 8 to 5 to go to work, or people who come in for their either 5:30 to 8:30 classes, whatever classes they are. You have people that are there all day, And so essentially what that gets you is density that can support the transit there. And so you can increase your ridership like we've been talking about with the transit vision for the past year and a half. And so we're really excited that the city has made this huge commitment into bus rapid transit. It'll be our first bus rapid transit, BRT, in the city of Memphis. And so that's frequent transit every 15, 20 minutes or less coming up and down, and it'll go from downtown along Union, then to Poplar, all the way out to University of Memphis, connecting 3 major employment centers. And so one thing that we heard in our comprehensive planning work is that people don't have access to jobs, and then where the transit currently goes is not necessarily where the employment centers are. And so now we'll be connecting 3 employment centers downtown, medical district, and the university area. We'll be connecting multiple educational centers, so the University of Memphis, Southwest College, and not too far from the other colleges that are kind of in between the downtown and midtown area. And so we're just really excited to support that BRT work, bus rapid transit work, to think about the development along these transit stops or along this route that can support the density that's needed. It's a cycle. So have the development to increase the density to support the transit and just kind of keep going from there.
And it'll be such a catalytic project too, just to get the design quality of development that I think you know we've wanted to see for years along, especially a street like Union Avenue, but you know connect that into all the great things that are happening in our downtown and in our medical district as well. So you know one of the things we always try to talk about is how transit needs density to succeed, but density also relies on transit as well as multiple modes of transportation to succeed. So this is going to be a great project. We're really glad that your team is leading it for our division. So tell our viewers a little bit when is that plan kicking off, and what will be opportunities for the public to get involved?
Yes, so that plan is, so right now it's late October. That plan should be kicking off probably towards the middle to end of November. So before 2020 ends, we'll kick off, and we'll probably kick off softly. So with information to educate people and inform people about, number one, the bus rapid transit, to inform them about transit-oriented development, why we think it's important and what's upcoming. And then over the next couple of months, the early parts of 2021 into the spring, we'll have more engagement opportunities for people to really think about design that they want to see along that corridor. So how do we create places that are unique and support the unique neighborhoods that exist along Poplar, exist along Union, but create some kind of cohesive design so that you know that you're in a special place that's connected. We hope to engage community members about zoning opportunities. And so right now there's a lot of high intensity commercial, especially along the Poplar corridor, that may create places that aren't as inviting if you're not in a car. So if you're walking, and John, as you said, we want to move towards more of a multimodal transportation city, and we are doing that. We're seeing that, but we have to provide the infrastructure and the place to do that. And so how do we think about zoning that allows for that creates a better environment if you're walking or if you're on a bike, that creates a place where you actually want to sit outside of a restaurant and eat on the street. You're not sitting next to cars in a parking lot. Hopefully, you know, you might be sitting next to something more active. And those changes take zoning modifications. And so we want to talk with community members, developers, business owners, and stakeholders to really think about how do we achieve that goal. And so we're really excited about that. We are very aware that there's a pandemic going on right now, and a lot of people have had to adjust to how they are in school, how they're working, and if they aren't working, how they're spending their time at home. And so all of our engagement will be virtual. We'll provide opportunities for, if you don't have a computer or access, you can still access content via your mobile phone, or even possibly if you're just walking around your library, you might see some information there. So be on the lookout. Continue to share this information, this newsletter, with your friends and family so that they can receive the information about the TOD plan or the Innovation Corridor plan as it kicks off.
Great. Well, thanks, Ashley. We greatly appreciate all that you do and all that your department does for our division and for the city and county. So Ashley Cash, thank you for joining me.
Thank you, John. Have a good day.
You too.